everyone. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and here's what's happening in LA this week. South LA is introducing cool pavement technology to reduce the heat from its streets. Alongside this paving initiative, trees are being planted to make a cooler environment and more eco-friendly neighborhood. Council member Marquise Harris Dawson was on hand to highlight the benefits these measures will bring. Check it out.
The cool pavement technology is an exciting technology that we're bringing to neighborhoods in Los Angeles to make sure that our pavement contributes less to the heat island effect that we get in so many neighborhoods in the city. But in addition to doing the pavement, we're also doing trees, we're also doing sidewalks, so that taken together, those things have a qualitative impact, and the neighborhood actually feels cooler when you're walking, when you're hanging out in your front yard, or you're using the park or one of the schools.
Cool pavement was designed to reduce heat throughout an entire neighborhood grid that has been determined to be what we refer to as a heat island. So as a result, we come in, we lay our cool pavement down, and basically you get the 15 to 20 degree difference in temperature. At the same time, our street tree department is either in front of us or behind us. They're planting trees, and we're just making the environment cooler everywhere where we can.
This material used to be installed by hand, using like a hand sprayer. And you'll see these large tanker trailers that we had our contractor make so that they can apply it much more precisely and at a much lower cost.
The result is pride in the neighborhood. It'll look nicer, it'll drive nicer, it's going to cool off. That's good for the environment. I'm glad they have the money to do it. And I kind of look at what our government's doing now, providing all the funds to make these improvements. Oh, I love it.
When we're applying cool pavement, we only have to close down the street for about 10 hours. We do it in 2 coats. We do the first coat at about 9 or 10 a.m. and the next one maybe 11:30. And then we let it dry in the afternoon. And usually before dinner time, people can drive back on the street again.
We all do better when we work together, and this inconvenience will be short-lived, but the benefit will be long-term.
As an international airport, LAX welcomes millions of passengers every year, and its ongoing activity has made modernization a vital necessity. City officials and Delta representatives gathered to cut the ribbon on the new Terminals 2 and 3 and share some of the improvements Angelinos and visitors will be enjoying every time they travel to and from Los Angeles. Let's take a look.
1, 2, and 3.
We just did the ribbon cutting for our brand new state-of-the-art facility here in Los Angeles. This airport will come online on April 20th of this year, and of course we'll open up different gates as we progress throughout the next 14 to 15 months. It's our new home here in Los Angeles and dedicated to Los Angeles and Angelinos around the city.
This transformation of LAX is also a transformation of our city and of our economy. The Delta Skyway project alone is creating thousands of construction-related jobs in the city. And if you look at the $15 billion that we're spending right now already, that's over 120,000 jobs a year.
We were in tight space over in Terminal 2. It was a facility that was old, and Angelinos deserve a new terminal, of which this beautiful facility here, along with our 30,000-foot Sky Club right behind me, will offer to everyone traveling through Los Angeles to use the facility here with 14 TSA security lanes.
For a very, very long time, elected officials, community leaders, labor leaders, business leaders, neighbors, all talked about the need for LAX modernization. It is finally happening.
This space will offer technology that customers deserve. As they enter the building and as they traverse through the facility, they will not only see spacious views of Los Angeles, the Hollywood Hills, but just really the scenery that Los Angeles has. So I would say the beauty of this is we're opening up 18 months early. And so as the world paused over the last 2 years, Delta went full throttle and accelerated our project forward, and now we have the beauty of opening up 18 months early.
Los Angeles continues to take measures to handle the homelessness crisis. LA Family Housing received a generous land donation to build My Angel Apartments, 64 units of permanent supportive housing for homeless veterans. Council President Nuri Martinez was joined by community leaders for this heartwarming groundbreaking. Check it out.
1, 2, 3, my angel!
This is a very exciting day, the groundbreaking for My Angel Apartments, which will be 64 units of permanent supportive housing for veterans who've experienced homelessness.
This was made thanks to the generous contribution of the Kesners. They used to own My Angel Appliance Center here in the heart of the North Hills community, and he sold it a couple of years ago, but he wanted to figure out what to do with this land, and so he made a generous donation to LA Family Housing with the purpose of building permanent supportive housing for veterans. Over the course of the pandemic, we were able to open 241 permanent supported housing units. We have another 269 units coming online at the end of the year. So in 18 months, not counting what we've already opened in terms of interim supportive housing, we have already been able to open 881 units of permanent supportive housing here in my district alone over the last 18 months.
My heart is really bursting for a couple reasons. One, because of the generosity of the gift. It takes a long time to build housing in Los Angeles. There are a lot of hurdles we have to climb. And Hal was not a young man when he made the donation nearly 4 years ago, and here he is. He's going to be 90 years old. That we can finish this in his lifetime is my prayer.
For more information about the services provided by LA Family Housing and ways to get involved, visit lafh.org. For those experiencing homelessness, tiny homes have become a great way to bring hope and change to those who have felt invisible. City 14 recently opened the Eagle Rock Tiny Homes Village, continuing this positive trend of interim and permanent housing. Let's take a look.
Today we're here to open our Eagle Rock Tiny Homes. This is our second Tiny Homes Village in the district and the second one in Northeast LA.
Less than a year ago, this was site of one of the largest encampments in this neighborhood. But next week, it'll become a place of hope, a place of rebirth, a place of belief, a place of opportunity where people can find stability and security and be case managed back into the light and out of the darkness.
Living on this street is so dehumanizing for people. It's so traumatic. And often we have people who are experiencing homelessness just talk about how they feel like they've almost lost themselves, become invisible to everybody else. And so when we start treating people with dignity and letting them see that there is hope, it transforms people.
And like all the tiny home villages here, the wraparound services are the key, because shelter is only the first piece. It's how we give people hope, where they open up their horizons, they stabilize the voices they may have, they deal with the addictions that they face and the healthcare crises that too many of them suffer from. This is about housing navigation. And the good news is 11,000 units of housing are either open or on the way.
The Los Angeles Police Department strongly believes that one way to make us safer is to take guns off the streets. LAPD held a gun buyback in 5 different locations where people could anonymously surrender guns, which would later be destroyed. Gift cards were given away to those participating in this initiative.
So today we're happy to have the gun buyback program in 5 different locations across the state of Los Angeles. I'm grateful to Mayor Garcetti and the Gang Reduction Youth Development Organization, as well as our people coming together, offering Angelenos the opportunity to surrender weapons anonymously with no questions asked that are going to make for a safer Los Angeles. The impact they have is this morning. Within the first hour, we saw more than 100 guns surrendered, including assault weapons, weapons that are just death machines. And to have those guns off of the street, out of homes, and see them they'll be destroyed encourages me that we'll have a safer Los Angeles. Those gift cards, whether it be a Target gift card for $100 or $200, we know is a small stipend for the effort, but we do believe it's a safer Los Angeles because of programs such as this.
Did you know that across the state of California, no vehicle can idle for more than 5 minutes? Unfortunately, there are many passenger and commercial vehicles that violate this law. To educate their community, Council District 15 has unveiled no idling signs, particularly around school zones. Let's take a look.
We came together to update the no idling sign. So throughout the state, what the state law tells us is that no vehicle can idle for more than 5 minutes. Obviously, we know that's not common practice for a lot of folks. At times, it comes to really education, especially for passenger vehicles. But for commercial vehicles, we know that a lot of the time, people just violate the law, right? So with these signs, it allows and it gives that additional enforcement arm to our community to be able to have a direct line to the AQMD to report these issues.
To date, we have 167 no idling signs, but I think it's important to make clear that regardless of the sign, there shouldn't be idling in vulnerable communities. So when in front of an elementary school, it's a non-starter. Don't even think about it. And so I think the signage has really helped to educate truck drivers and other drivers of heavy vehicles that idling shouldn't be allowed because of the impacts that it brings on communities.
It's really important as a school board member that I encourage everyone to do what we can to make sure our kids have as safe and healthy of environments as possible. And so there's a number on the sign folks can call to let folks know if they're seeing any idling in the community. That number is 1-800-CUT-SMOG.
¿Y por qué son los problemas? Es porque puede emitir más gases en el aire que afecta especialmente en estas comunidades y alrededor de escuelas.
The LA Fire Department swears in their new chief. Council pays tribute to a retiring trailblazer, and applications for a dance in the districts are open. All this up next on City Beat.
Kristen Crowley was sworn in as LAFD's chief on March 25th in a ceremony attended by city officials, family, and colleagues. Crowley is a 22-year veteran of the LAFD, having held positions including firefighter, battalion chief, fire marshal, and deputy chief. Her appointment marks the first time in the 136-year history of the fire department that a woman has been appointed as chief.
I couldn't be prouder to be stepping into this position and have the honor to represent the goodness of what everybody brings to work each and every day.
To learn more about becoming an LA firefighter, visit joinlafd.org. City Council and the LA Police Department paid tribute to LAPD Assistant Chief Beatrice Grimala in celebration of her retirement.
Chief Grimala, this is a day that all of us hate. Because we really will very much miss your leadership, your presence, your partnership as one of the leaders of the LAPD.
As the highest-ranking woman at the LAPD, Grimala served for 37 years, most recently as the director of the Office of Operations. Grimala is esteemed for her work within LA's diverse communities, including her role as department coordinator for LGBTQ+ matters.
In times where I was low in life, you kept me going and you provided me the energy to try to lead with some semblance of depth, compassion, and accountability to you.
The Department of Cultural Affairs and the Los Angeles Dance Workers Coalition have announced a new online dance pilot project. The project, entitled Dance in the Districts, is looking for dancers and choreographers who reside or work in Council Districts 2, 3, 8, and 10. Participants will create a 1 to 3 minute online video which will be supported by a $1,000 artist's fee and a $1,000 production fee. The performances will highlight a location, such as a park, street, or business in the council district where the applicant lives or works. The initiative was created to serve LA dancers impacted by the effects of COVID-19 through the promotion of wellness and economic recovery. Learn more about the application due April 8th by visiting culturela.org.
Civil rights activist Cesar Chavez's influence can be felt all across Los Angeles. South LA organized an event in his honor with live music, resources, and gardening workshops. People gathered to praise his legacy, especially for agricultural workers. Check it out.
Hoy estamos celebrando el legado de Cesar Chavez. Trajimos una fiesta aquí en las calles del sureste de nuestro distrito. Trajimos recursos, trajimos unos talleres de jardín, trajimos entretenimiento en vivo y todo para no solo celebrar, pero también hacer un día de servicio en honor de Cesar Chavez.
Right now we're giving trees to Los Angeles residents. Residents can give an address to see if they qualify, and if they do, they can get up to 7 trees for free and 2 fruit trees for this event.
Es algo muy importante para nosotros en la comunidad, para Watts. Más que nada que es algo tan bonito compartir, ¿verdad? Con la comunidad y con todos nosotros.
Que hizo mucho por los campesinos, hizo mucho por quitar pesticidas. Fue un miembro muy bueno, buenísimo.
Well, I mean, he was a symbol to all these farmers, you know. He fought for, like, a lot of things for these farmers who weren't getting paid equally, were getting mistreated in a lot of ways. He led a bunch of marches and everything just to fight for these rights for these farmers because they were being abused. You know, he's just a symbol, especially the people, like my people, you know, my heritage and everything.
He was a lot of things to a lot of different people. And yes, he was of Mexican descent and he was for the migrant workers, but he was for all people, all people. He wanted everybody to come together. Why should somebody have so much and someone else have so little? Why can't we all make sure that we lift each other up?
When we think about surgeons, we picture scrubs and operating tables. Here in the city of Los Angeles, we have another type, tree surgeons. Instead of scalpels, they use forklifts and chainsaws during their surgery. Channel 35 followed a team of these professionals to find out how important their work is to keep our trees healthy and make sure our streets are safe to walk, ride, and drive on. Let's take a look.
Right here this morning, we are trimming the trees. We are raising the trees. So that's what my coworkers are doing right now. The people are very happy when we go out to their neighborhoods. The city of LA is very big. So everybody treats us very good. They're very welcoming. They're very thankful for what we do. So they really appreciate us. DOT comes 3 days before we're gonna come to the location and does the posting. And as well, we come to the houses and we provide them with a paper that says that we're gonna be working in their neighborhood. We stand on each side to make sure we assist the pedestrians so they don't have to go under the trees or get hurt. We go to some areas where the residents don't want us to trim the trees. I'm like, but it's something that we have to do. When they get close to the power line, and as well, when they haven't been done for a long time, limbs start falling. So we explain to them why we're doing it. It's good. Our job is very important. We're out here to make sure our cities are safe, that the trees don't fall. So raising the trees is very important. And we also remove trees that are about to fall, that are causing any hazard. So I'm very happy.
Keeping up with a healthy habits trend, LA San is offering urban gardening classes. Channel 35 got a first-hand experience of how happy people were to get professional insights, connect with fellow citizens, and reap the benefits of growing what they can then enjoy on their plates. Check it out.
We are at the wetlands in South LA to come back from our 2-year hiatus on our urban garden lectures.
This class is held once a month on the third Saturday of every month.
Today's topic is going to be spring vegetables, tomato planting. So there's rhizomes and there's stolons. Rhizomes are underground roots, stolons are above ground roots.
I'm here today because I enjoy learning, I enjoy gardening, I enjoy everything that they teach us.
I'm real happy to be back. It's been a long 2 years and I missed it. My passion in life is to do lectures and to teach everybody how to do urban gardening.
I think these are very helpful because a lot of us out there, I mean, have a lot of wishes to do these things, but you don't know how you're going to start with it. And I think this is one of the best places that you can start because people who know, they're experts and they can teach you a lot. So
it's a great satisfaction to see what you planted, to see it to grow, and eventually see it on your dinner table when you're eating.
Also, it's great therapy to get out in the sunshine and get out of the house and takes your mind off all the world problems.
Jitomate, pues calabacitas, todo eso me gusta tener ahí, cilantro, zanahoria y pepinos, todo me gusta tener ahí. Sometimes they give you free samples too. So then, like, they gave me a pomegranate, just a stick. I planted it in the soil that they gave me, and now I have a little pomegranate tree.
You can go to the LA Sand website, and all the information is there. You can also register for any of the classes.
So what I'd like to do is encourage everybody to have some type of a garden, whether it's just a small pot or their whole backyard full of vegetables and herbs.
To learn more about urban gardening classes, workshops, and other upcoming events, visit lacitysand.org. The LAPD is trying to have its workforce reflect the diversity of Los Angeles, which means increasing the number of officers from underrepresented communities, especially women. In our featured story this week, we meet the team behind the See Yourself in Blue campaign, which strives to inspire people to become a part of a police force that makes Los Angeles better.
It's very important that we mirror the city of Los Angeles, and that's why we've had a very important recruitment initiative to do exactly that. Right now, as it stands, we probably do a good job of mirroring. African Americans, we're probably at about 9%, which is the same as the city. Asian American Pacific Islanders, we're probably about 10%, which is about the same as the city. But the one area that we really need to focus on and improve in a lot more is for females also, because females, as we know, is probably about 51% of the population. We only have about 18%. But we're looking at all of the different demographics of the department and the city and ensure that we measure up.
I'm an outsider, technically an outsider here. I don't work for the Los Angeles Police Department, but I was glad, happy to be able to join forces in this effort to help recruit more African American police officers. When Chief Moore and the commissioners found me, they found me right here at Tolliver's Barbershop at Western and Florence. Now that's just a couple of blocks from the flashpoint of the Rodney King uprising. And now we're coming up on 30 years since the anniversary of that date. So I think it's very important that we underscore the urgency of the need to hire more police officers. It's been 30 years, so it's just as important now as it was then. I think they're doing a good job toward that effort at this point with this current initiative.
They do so many things that are positive, but we only see the negative, and that's not fair. So we got to understand it's not fair, so we got to work around that. We, as a community in LAPD, have to put out a more positive image of what it is to be like an LAPD officer, to be proud to be an LAPD officer. Have the community look and say, you know what? I'm happy that black man, that black woman is proud to be a member of LAPD, and I'm proud that they're doing an outstanding job here in the community.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen the good that officers have done that the public will never know. Where I've seen where officers have gone into their own pocket and have given money. They have taken people into their own homes. They have given them food. They've done so much. People who live in the community, they want to know that they're represented. They want to know that the police department has people that look like them, that understand them, that have gone through some of the same experiences and exposures that they have, so they can better identify and relate when they have contact with the police.
See Yourself in Blue is a call to action. In this case, our primary call to action is join LAPD. But before we can get to that, you have to be able to vision for our community. We have to be able to invite them to visualize and see themselves in that position.
If people can see that it is not just the quick flash from the news that they see, that it is so much more, and people would be so proud to know how much officers care about them. It is not just a job. They are providing a service, and they do care about the community, and they do want to give back.
Check out a Peruvian outdoor musical event. Tune in to Quadraphonic from the William Grant Still Arts Center, or celebrate Loomis Day with an online poetry reading. All this up next on Things to Do.
The Los Angeles Public Library invites you to a free outdoor musical event with Inca, the Peruvian ensemble. Founded in 1981 in Los Angeles, the ensemble preserves Peru's artistic heritage of Incan, Criollo Hispanic, and Afro-Peruvian music. This family-friendly event will bring the sounds of the world-famous Andean woodwinds to the northeast San Fernando Valley. Inca, the Peruvian ensemble outdoor musical event, happens at the Lakeview Terrace Branch Library Courtyard on Thursday, April 14th at 2:30 p.m. For more info, visit lapl.org/events. The William Grant Still Arts Center has announced the lineup for their 14th annual African American Composers Series, Quadraphonic. This 4-part archival podcast series will feature 4 composers and their contributions to the fields of classical, jazz, electronic, and punk rock music. Starting April 9th, you can catch the first 2 installments with curator Chris Terry on LA punk icon Tequila Mockingbird and curator Mark Maxwell on jazz great Phil Ranelin. Stay tuned for the second session on electronic and classical music, which will premiere on June 4th. Quadraphonic, the 14th annual African American Composers Series, takes place through June 25th. To find out more, visit wgsac.wordpress.com. After a 2-year pandemic break, Loomis Day is back. The festival, a celebration of Northeast LA's history and ethnic diversity, will happen on Sunday, April 24th. But your pals at the Arroyo Seco Regional Library want to help you get the party started early on April 16th with their online Loomis Day poetry reading. The event will feature local poets Laurel Ann Bogan, Jack Grapes, Elizabeth Adwin Edwards, and Angela Panaridondo. All 4 poets will present selected readings from their works during this lively conversation. The Loomis Day poetry reading happens online on Saturday, April 16th at 3 p.m. For the program link, visit lapl.org/events. And that's a look at some things to do.
And that's it for this edition. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.